Hello, hello, and I'm just double checking to see are we gone live on the page. You're all very welcome here this morning, and for those of you who are watching the replay, we are live on Facebook.
Yay. Wonderful.
Wonderful. So we've got the first bit right.
First success.
Okay, so I'd like to welcome you this morning. As I say, you're very welcome, and introduce to you Helene Musso, who is the owner of Public Speaking from the Heart, where she helps individuals and businesses get over their fears, overcome them when it comes to speaking. So that's why the conversation this morning is about mastering your confidence to take action. So just before I introduce you to Helene, I'm going to just give you a note that I'm going to be introducing my irresistible offer to you at the end. So if you hang on till the end, I'll talk to you about that. But in the meantime, I am saying good morning and welcome, Helene. Good morning, Helene. We seem to have Helene. Helene is hung there, but that's okay. So basically, I met Helene through an online networking group. And because we both, I suppose, talk about the same topic, which is confidence, and she's back. We both talk about the same confidence around the topic around confidence. So that's why I wanted to have Helene on today to further the conversation. Welcome back to us, Helene. You decided to take a little moment off there.
I think this day and age, the internet should always work perfectly, but it's not always the case. So I'm ever so sorry, but I'm back and ready for the interview, ready to be with you, Dolores. And thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about what I do.
You know, and it's great because you're so passionate about inspiring others as well, you know, to reach their full potential, which is like, as I was just saying there, it's quite, you know, as coaches, that's what we love to do. We love to inspire people and to help them reach their full potential. And confidence is something that both of us talk about. So, Helene, I'd like to ask you, could you give us your definition of confidence in a sentence or two?
Okay, I see confidence as a wave. So basically, we go through life and sometimes we go up the wave and then, something happens. Problem maybe when we have children and we give up work, for example, for a lot of women, unfortunately, this is a difficult time. So we go down and then we might go up again. And it's two things. You might be very confident in a few areas in your life, but not confident at all in others. And I see my work as trying to help people not to go through this wave, not to crash all the time, because it's exhausting, and trying to find, okay, I've got a bit of confidence and maybe I can speak in public, but I'm a bit scared of this, or networking hard work. So it's this constant wave, and I'm trying to find what I call an equilibrium, a sort of balance, so that you don't have to go up and down and feel really that it's just this constant struggle, constant up and down. So that's the way I see it, and that's the way I see my work, as making it more harmonious, and that the wave is more settled and softer and kind.
I love that description, Helene. I think it's wonderful. And yeah, because we will all have struggles in life. And I think it's about getting tools and to help us to make that flow more manageable. So, you spent 20 years in education. You were a drama teacher and that. So I'd love to ask you how you made the transition from what you were doing into what you're doing now, and actually why you did that.
Okay, yes, I've been a drama teacher, and I've been teaching all my life. Basically, teaching is within me. I just absolutely love teaching. But I arrived at a point where, in about 2011, I suddenly thought there's something missing. And I was also very tired. As teaching can be exhausting. And I was just thinking, I need something else. There's something missing. And I remember going to that big conference with a group called Damsels in Success, which I don't believe still exists. And there was this big conference, and they put Katy Perry, fireworks. Yeah. And everyone stood up, and there was this sort of energy there. And I remember thinking, oh my God, what's going on? And I burst into tears. I was in tears. I'm thinking, I've been lacking something I've been missing in my life and needed more meaning. And as much as I was giving constantly, I wasn't looking after myself enough. I wasn't looking at what I could offer, but still sustain it. Teaching was just sucking me out and sort of spitting me back out again. So I needed to find something different. And on that conference, the word confidence kept coming in. And I realized I needed to find a way of helping other people to become more confident. And I wasn't quite sure how, but I had done all my work on teaching drama, being, on stage. So naturally came to, well, what about helping people to speak in public? Because I realized most of us are very scared of speaking in public. And I was also very scared of speaking in public for a long
That's what
time.
you were doing anyway. You were actually helping people to gain confidence to go on stage. So I guess it wasn't a huge transformation to when the penny drops for us.
That's right. I mean, but it's also about being yourself, isn't it? Where on stage you're always putting on an act. Whereas
That's true.
I was thinking, I'm tired of not being myself and not helping people to actually accept themselves for what they are. Now, I really wanted people to think, I'm okay just the way I am, and let's embrace who I am, and just move forward and do something positive with it. So that's when I started looking, became a NLP practitioner and coach, and I started putting my theatre expertise with my NLP work, neuro-linguistic programming, if you don't know, which is amazing tools, so that I could have an offer to help people not only just to speak, but to feel deep down that they're worth it, that their message counts, that it's okay to speak, and that you don't have to be afraid anymore.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's great because, I did say there about you helped people being on stage, but then it's true, actually, you are helping people, I suppose, to step into a character, which we can at times in life even be not ourselves, and we may be in character in order to please somebody when we go away from our own self. So that's good that you took a step back and you're looking at helping people be themselves the way they are. And
exactly.
I love that. Yes.
And it's part of my book, The Power of Outrageous Expression. So when I arrived about that time, 2011, I was getting closer to being 50. And when you're 50, you think, oh my God, what have I done with these 50 years?
I know.
And I had already started to think, well, what am I doing? And one thing about being yourself was really quite getting very important. I don't want to play or be an actor anymore. In a way, I want to be myself. But I was thinking, everyone needs to be helped. So I wrote a book called The Power of Outrageous Expression. And that book is about following 5 keys, which is be yourself, be kind to yourself, practice, because a lot of people think they should be able to be good at speaking, but you still have to practice and prepare and think about your message. Discover your extraordinary story. I consider that we are ordinary people, but we have extraordinary lives to show. But because they are our lives, we take them for granted. Oh, this happened to me. Oh, it's nothing. It's just happened to me. Hey, hang on a second. We have this message to pass on. We need to inspire other people. We need to tell our message. And the last key is have fun. This process is still hard work to speak, to be able to take risk, but enjoy the process. Have fun with it. Even if you're a bit scared, being scared is not bad. It's how to manage the fear, how to just embrace it. It's normal to be a little bit scared every time you speak. Coming on this interview is still a bit scary, but it's about being present and embracing the opportunity to show your message and to show who you are.
Absolutely, Helene. And, that brings me on to the next thing I was going to ask you about is, we all have this in really deep, we all want to be seen and to be heard. And a lot of us have, and especially women, I think. Now, I know that it's for all of us, I suppose, but as a coach for women, I find that women sometimes just have this thing about them that who would want to see me? And it's as if they wear an invisibility cloak. So, that's a huge thing in order to be seen and to be heard. And our beliefs around those two things really is what's fueling the actions we take in everyday life. So can you talk to me a little bit about that, how you find when you deal with clients about helping them master their confidence and fulfill their potential? How do you deal with clients when they have this invisibility cloak around them?
Well, I work on sort of 3 things. I work on mindset and practice, a lot of practice. A lot of people think that they can become confident immediately and just be like that. But when you think about it, if you're a doctor, for example, you need hours and hours of training, don't you? And years of training. So it's the same thing with speaking. You become better at it by practicing. Mindset is a big thing. We work a lot on accepting yourself, on be kind to yourself. So going back to the principle I use, and then it's about having the courage to show up. Having the courage to say, I'm okay. And what I do practically, I do it in two different ways in a way. Before the lockdown, I was doing it very much face-to-face with series of exercise, lots of games, because I believe you should have fun. And when you play games, you use the whole body and you just start to play, and because yourself is not just us, as we're talking at the moment, our face, our voices, but it's our whole body is involved in this process. We are sensory beings, so our whole self is involved in speaking, expressing ourselves. We get the fear in our tummy, don't we? When we're scared, we're a bit, we've got butterflies, we've got sticky hands, and it's about playing with that and starting to have that fun through a series of exercise. But I allow my clients and my audience to just open up and relax. Breathing as well is a mixture of calm exercise and a mixture of games and fun exercise. So it's a bit of both. And as I was saying, with the lockdown, I was doing a lot of face-to-face. And I had to reinvent myself. I was already doing quite a work on helping people with Facebook Lives and videos. And I completely went online because I had no choice, I suppose. And it's about embracing the opportunity. And it's just another message, this as well. It's about, you have sometimes to embrace what's there. And at the beginning, I was terrified. But what I've started doing is encouraging people to make their own Facebook Lives, but in a very safe environment. So I usually have a 3 or 5 days challenge where they come to a private group and they are being nurtured and they are being asked to basically speak on a series of mini topics, often about themselves. So I see that then after the 3 or 4 days, they start to open up and they have to make these Facebook Lives, but they are supported by me, supported by the group, because you want to be yourself, but you want to be kind to yourself, but you need to support other people. It works both ways. If you want to be kind, if you want to be kind to yourself, but it's nice if other people are being kind to you as well, because it's a gift. All my work is about a gift. You give and you receive. You need the others to help you. So we do a mini challenge. And if people want to carry on working with me, I do some online training where we do more practical exercise. For usually using Zoom. And afterwards, they have to make again a series of Facebook Lives. And originally, they choose the group to do Facebook Lives because they're still scared. And the group is there for you to practice. Because when you practice, then you can make mistakes and it's fine. And in any case, I don't talk about mistakes. I always talk about there is no failure, only feedback. So if someone suddenly does something a bit strange, it's just about saying, well, have you thought about that? How can you how can you progress? Or what about trying this? Or so they little by little open up. And then and this has been amazing because I had a few clients who said, I'm not scared of making Facebook Lives anymore. Now I'm ready to say, I want to talk about my message for my business. So be nice to talk about content and ideas for their content, which is the follow-up, basically, because I help them to shape their content as well. Because a lot of people come to me and say...
Before we go on to talking about content, I want to stream you back a bit before we start going on about content. I really love that because what this is about is mastering the confidence in order to take action. So I love that you bring people on the journey of getting the confidence first, because, I mean, we can listen and we can hear online a lot about we have to do video and video is king. And, there's so much talk about video, but there are so many people that have suffer with no confidence to go on live. And like I always say to people to people that I deal with in my coaching practice, or to anyone, to friends even, it's okay where you're at. It's okay to be scared to go on video, and it's okay. And I know you bring that along in your journey, as you mentioned, with people, they have the support of a group first. But I think then the importance of the work that you do is that once we get confidence is to take action, because that's where the magic will happen for us. Because we can listen all we want and we can listen to the gurus telling us that video is king, but unless we actually take the action and actually start, and even if we don't ever share a video live, even if this is for individuals, it's the actual ability to be able to know that you have the confidence to do it. And that's, I can imagine. And when I bring clients and all of us people that transform, transformational clients or coaches that bring people on this journey, it's meeting people where they are, and it's getting the confidence to do whatever they need. So that's wonderful, I think, that you bring them on this supportive journey. So well done you, Helene.
Yeah, I've noticed actually that quite a lot of people, once they start to be more confident, let's say to make Facebook Live, that it ripples. And I'm sure you've noticed that in your work as well. It ripples. So they start to be more confident about talking to so-and-so, or having a difficult conversation with a family member, or being able to, I don't know, make a complaint about something happened in their lives. But just so it ripples. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? They start somewhere, and then we can just sort of use that confidence over, and then we take action, because they think, oh, I can do this. Oh, I'm not scared anymore. I can go for it. So it doesn't have to be Facebook Lives. It's about, and in terms of business, it's about having courage to embrace your business. Like, what am I going to do with what I'm trying to sell? How am I going to be seen? And it doesn't have that everyone should be using Facebook Lives every 5 minutes. That's not, I wouldn't advise that at all. But then you might say, well, what's my message? Or maybe I can blog for this, or I can just do a vlog every so often, or I need to be seen, so I can do something else. And it gives you ideas. And then you start thinking, wow, this is amazing. Then you get that, you get closer to people as well. You get infused by people, because as I was saying, this gift, isn't it? You give and you receive, and it works in both ways, and it's just amazing.
And I have to ask you about your wonderful accent as well. So I know that you're from France, but I think that you have a beautiful mixture of, you have English coming in there, your English accent comes in as well. How long have you actually been in Ireland? Or sorry, in England, should I say?
In England, yes, I have never lived in Ireland. I've only had visited once.
I'm Ireland.
The country you live in, Dolores. I arrived in 1989, so I was in my 20s. I wasn't speaking very well. I had learned English at school, but I was determined to learn English, because whatever I did afterwards, if I was to go back to France, having English as a language would have been very helpful for whatever job I wanted to do. So I thought, well, I'll stay a year or two. And then I started feeling this freedom, because when you come here a foreigner, and some people experience that, depending where they go, you come as a foreigner, nobody expects anything of you. They just take you as you are. And in a way, I was a little Frenchy, and everyone laughed because I hadn't had my little accent. And I remember being in the pub and having my little book and asking people when they said something and I didn't know, saying, well, can you write it down for me so I can learn? Things like that. And so I just immersed myself, and I used drama. I started doing drama in England. I'd done a bit of drama in France, but not usually amount, to learn English. And that's a wonderful tool as well. It's fun as well. And I suppose this is why I bring to the mix these days, is doing things which are fun, games, and then, theatre. And then I became a drama teacher. And I was so amazed that they took me on in the school I started, because I was thinking, I don't speak English properly. But it didn't matter, because it's not about that. It's about having the courage to do something and going for it and take the action needed to do it. And I was determined.
There you go. You're one of these people who actually speak the speak. You do the work. It's like we can. I think it's great. We can have great empathy for people if we have been on the journey ourselves. You came here. You came to England. I'm in Ireland. You're in England.
That's okay.
And you, as you say, you felt like the foreigner in another country, but you took the action that was needed. And I think it's wonderful that the action you took ended up leading you on to be a drama teacher, which led you on to being where you are now. I mean, it's been such a wonderful journey for you.
Oh, absolutely amazing. And I've adored, being a drama teacher. It was very interesting. It was very creative. And it's giving me the tools I can use now. I use a lot of games. I use a lot of my resources from drama. And I don't think without that I would be who I am now. I needed at around 50 to find something which were maybe more meaningful, but it didn't mean that it wasn't meaningful before. Is that I suppose we evolve, isn't it? We change, our priorities change. And I had worked in more or less every setup, in England. I'd even worked in primary school, done lots of different work. I've worked with special needs. I've worked with adults. Worked in schools. And so I was thinking, I need to go somewhere else. And I wanted to have more freedom in terms of not being stuck to one school. Schools are very regimented and
Yes,
very
yes,
organized, which is great, but not always great if you're quite creative.
yes.
And you need change and you need things to happen.
Well,
So
good for you. So there again, you
yeah.
took another confident step. You know, it's not easy leaving a full-time job and going on and setting up yourself, your own company. So would you like to tell us a little bit more about your company, which is called Public Speaking from the Heart, and how people can get in contact with you? Just very briefly, how people can get in contact with you and what you do.
Well, I think the best is either to get in touch for email, be confident at helenemusso.com. My website is helenemusso.com. So you can have a look at the moment. I work one-to-ones, like you, I'm sure you do, Dolores. I often do courses. But I also, at the moment, I'm about to throw myself into what I call the hearts in business. Shall I talk a little bit about that to explain what is the hearts in business?
I have a link there as well to it anyway. If you want to tell us briefly about it, Jess, sure.
Yes, it'll be great. So this is a very interesting. It's with the lockdown, obviously, lots of things had to change. And I am not overly technology minded, but I was working with a virtual assistant, Lisa Ferris, already. She was helping with posting, etc. And we started working more together. And I just thought, basically she helped me to be much more online, much more present online. And we realized we both had a lot of resources because I've got a book. I also have don't often mention it, an online course called The 5 Keys to Unlock Your Public Speaking, which I should have sent it to you. But anyway, and lots of blogs, lots of resources. And Lisa is the same. She has a huge amount of resources, but instead in helping people with how to use Facebook, how to use Instagram, that type and graphics, and she's absolutely amazing. And we looked together and thought, most businesses are struggling to be visible online, either because they're scared of being seen on sort of mindset point of view, or because technology gets too much. It gets too much for them. They get overwhelmed. So we've set up, and we're just about to launch, the Hearts in Business. It's working with heart-centered business to help them to be more visible online, but without the overwhelm, without the fear. Okay, so I'm so passionate about that project because I can see, how it's going to work and help, heart-centered businesses. Because when we're heart-centered, often we don't want to be seen because we think it's not about us. But actually, you have to be seen.
Of
And you
course,
have to
and
be
I love
seen
that. We do.
on social media, don't you?
I love that, and thank you so much for sharing that. And you know what? I'll have you back on again to talk about that in more depth when you're launching, because I know you're launching in October, and that's another huge conversation that we can have about helping people be seen in such a different way. So let's. Can you come back and talk to us in more depth?
I'd be delighted to talk about that. We're launching on the 1st, so
lovely.
It's coming up very soon.
That's great. So I have the banner there, and I've shared it, and I'll share afterwards.
Thank you so much, Dolores.
Dolores,
thank you so much.
Certainly, and I would say to people, please go along and check out Helene's website, the helenemusso.com. It's going across the screen there as we're speaking, and see the wonderful work that she does with people, and certainly check out her wonderful packages. And she has also got free resources that you can, go in. I think it's great too that we can. We resonate with certain people. There could be 10 coaches in a room, but they'll resonate with the one that you want to work with. And I think that it's wonderful that we can go in and have a look around Helene's website, see what she does and get a flavor for the work she does. And I'd highly recommend that you go check her out. Helene, thank you so much for chatting to us. Don't go away, but thank you for chatting to us this morning. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, Dolores. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. Thank you, everyone, for watching or watching the replay. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thanks, Helene. So I'm just going to share my screen here, and I'm going to actually, before I leave, I'm going to share with you about the offer that I am introducing today. And it's there again. It's all about the conversation that Helene and I have been talking about. It's all about confidence. And I'm launching my 4-week Master Your Confidence course on the 5th of October. So it's a 4-week online Master Your Confidence course where it's really there about talking about a lot of the things that we've discussed here today. It's about beating overwhelm, and it's about getting motivated again, because I think a lot during lockdown too, and I had this journey myself during lockdown, whereas I lost my own mojo becoming a homeschooling mom and all these things that I hadn't planned and none of us had planned. And it's really about, leaning into the present moment, leaning into what emotions were coming up for me and getting the confidence back to get back on track and to start, doing the things I wanted to do. Now, lockdown started very busy for me. I went online and I did an online coaching summit to support people, and I was busy. But then things just kind of there again. I lost my mojo around 2 months in. So anyway, back to this course I'm doing. It's 4 weeks where we build on week by week. We build on the modules. Week 1, we start with creating a map of where you are now, no matter where that is, because that will be different for everyone. It's a unique journey. And we start looking at our value systems. And when we do these exercises of looking at our value systems, I notice that people really have aha moments when we look at how we value ourselves and how we value the work that we do. And also looking at what motivates us in our life. And we touched on that a little bit earlier, that we all have things that motivate us. And if we're not getting the right action from our life, it's good to pull back and look at the motivators that we have to see, do we need to change them or to pivot a little bit and to root out the limiting beliefs that we start looking at in week 2. And we also look at the inner saboteur and, lean into that voice in our head, which is a part of us, and to learn how to tell him to quieten down for a while. And I also talk about the topic in week 2 of belonging versus fitting in, where really when we feel as though we belong, we're not trying to change ourselves to fit in. We're not trying to be the people pleaser, which is something that I have gone through myself over the years. But it's really like, realizing that we belong where we belong. And we'll also discuss emotional fitness. And I'll give you the tools that you need to look into the emotions like anger, fear, jealousy, and to get the gems of wisdom that those wonderful emotions have for us. Because yes, even jealousy is a wonderful emotion to lean into. Emotions are pieces of energy, and they let us know what it is that our body wants to tell us. And week 3, then we start looking at our personal power. And there are 3 ways that we react with our personal power. We're either passive aggressive, where we might say yes when we really want to say no. We might be a little bit of a people pleaser just because we want to give, but we forget to look after ourselves. Or we might be aggressive because we haven't got good boundaries in place. Or the ultimate, we want to be assertive and we want to be able to ask for what we need in a kind and loving way. And we want to put boundaries in place. So we'll develop all those skills week 3. And then week 4, we start looking at how far we've come, because this journey is truly transformational when you do the exercises that go along with it. And we start looking at defining your strengths, because when you work from your strengths, it's really not working from a place of want all the time. Because when we want all the time, we want, we're not really... It's when we come from a place of desire and we're working towards, like Helene mentioned, we sort of lean in and we're going the direction of where we want to go in our life. It's just so different for us. And I also give you we create a vision for the future, and I give you tools to help you keep on track. So I have an irresistible offer for anyone that wants to get a hold of or join us starting for 4 weeks on the 5th of October. There's a bundle I have put together and it's worth over €900. And it includes the 4-week Master Your Confidence course. It includes 1 hour of coaching one-on-one with me. I'm also giving you access to my 7-part video series called The Subtle Art of Storytelling. So that lets you go deep, define your story so that you can share your story with who needs to hear it. And also I've put together a Master Your Confidence masterclass. So all that complete bundle today and until the 25th of September, you can buy it for $399 instead of $935. So there you go. That's just letting you know about my 4-week master course, which starts on the 5th of October. And I'm taking 18 people basically on a transformational journey. So if you want to grab the bundle, it's just $399 for the next week or 2. So there you go. And there's my website. Thanks again to Helene for joining us and for talking about the wonderful topic that we talked about today.
Yes. Your course sounds absolutely amazing, Dolores. Absolutely amazing. And I think once they've mastered that confidence and can come and do some public speaking with me.
There you go. Once we get
it's all linked together. It's absolutely amazing what you're offering. Yeah.
Thank you, Helene. And I think that's wonderful that like that, our conversation is about, yes, when I step into my confidence, now where can I go? I can go and I can learn how to do wonderful video. Thanks again, Helene. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much, Dolores. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.